I love that, dude. He's like, you know, if the Republicans weren't as like aggressive about like as open about their homophobia, like I'd probably be a Republican. That's awesome. Well, all right, let's see. Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz discussing Trump versus Bernie Sanders. We're going to start off with this one. Joe Rogan is doing a leftist, liberal heel turn once again, folks.
I hate someone like Trump because Trump believes he should be president and he wants to be president.
Yes, and there's something a little icky about it.
Get him out of here.
Dude, and I think that what was so endearing about Bernie, it was like, this motherfucker don't want to win. He wants to help. Now, is his idea of help, do you agree with it? That's to be said by the average person. But did you feel like he cared about winning and controlling?
No.
I never got that sense from him.
No, I got a sense that he genuinely...
I love these convos, dude. It's just such a obvious. I love these convos because it's like very clearly this is how the average American thinks about politics. It's all shapes, colors, and sizes. Okay, that's it. The average American citizen is not thinking about like the actions of a political party. They're thinking about charitability. They're thinking about like whether they think the vibes are fucked or not. Okay, that's it. Straight up. That's it. And Bernie's vibes were good. He had a lot of hatred from people who are already despised, like the Democratic Party, like the Democratic institution, like the Republican Party as well. And he was able to, get vibe checked into oblivion. And that's it. And I know this from my own personal experience, both canvassing and also talking to people in the real world. Anytime I talk to people about Bernie Sanders, I don't even talk about his policies. I don't talk about democratic socialism. I talk about how honest he comes across. Okay? Whenever we talk about politicians in a larger group, all I do is bring up the fact that like, well, you know, Bernie is honest. You know, he's been fucked over by all of those very same villains. And people do see mainstream media as villainous. People do see, politicians as villainous across the board. So the fact that like Bernie has an antagonistic relationship with both the mainstream media and also with, these institutionalists is a really good thing. It's a great thing, as a matter of fact. Unfortunately, that's not how politicians are selected. The mechanism of control, especially within the Democratic primaries, where the impact is noticed the most. That revolves almost entirely around not a vibe check, but about like how easily and how successfully people can push. The MSNBC watchers can get pushed to the polls because those are the main people that vote in the Democratic primaries. And Bernie twice tried to go against that and failed. That's just the unfortunate reality. Okay. I don't know if there's ever going to be a way to. I don't know if there's ever going to be a way to get over that. I don't know if there's ever going to be a candidate that can combat that with a media narrative and a media message that pushes beyond the boundaries of like MSNBC. Whoever it is going to need to do that. Isn't that the fault of the electorate for being such easily manipulable idiots, at least those that care to vote in the Dem primary? No, that's not how I think about these sorts of things, man. Shifting the blame over back to the individual is just like American, it's just like weirdly hyper-individualistic Ameribrain bullshit. It's not. It's not up to the individual. It's not. It's just the truth. Like, we're talking about systemic change, okay? Just like it was Hillary Clinton and Hillary Clinton's campaign's individual responsibility, or rather Hillary Clinton's responsibility for not putting forward an adequate campaign strategy and not going to Wisconsin and whatnot. That was the problem, not the fact that like enough people didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, because you have to sell them something. That's not how this works. You have to sell people something for them to go out and vote for you. You can't just like expect them to go out and vote for you because they truly care that like, the Democrats are going to defend the rights of the marginalized, when Democrats are in power right now and you can see it with your own two fucking eyes and hear with your own two fucking ears and see it with your brain. Visualize the issue that like Democrats are falling short of offering protections for the marginalized when they're in power. Right? Carlin says we have owners who have purposely made us dumb, not the individual's fault. Yeah, that too.
genuinely looks out for the working class,
Yes.
and he genuinely wants to help people. That's why I said that I supported him.
100%.
And when he was explaining how his situation works with taxes, that they would just tax a small percentage of speculation, of stock trading, just a tiny percentage of all these trades that are happening constantly, and that money could go to education, that money can go to welfare.
Ask your marginalized friends if they feel protected. If you don't have any, get some or shut the fuck up. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's why I just said that. Like, no one who is like, I don't think women feel like the Democratic Party is adequately protecting their rights right now. I don't think trans people think that the Democratic Party is adequately protecting their rights right now. I don't think undocumented immigrants think the Democratic Party is protecting their rights adequately right now, especially considering that the Democratic Party is either directly contributing to the problem by continuing Trump-era provisions like Title 42, or they are straight up just campaigning off of it without putting forward any sort of like serious fight. No serious pushback whatsoever. No serious fight whatsoever. Right? I mean, think about it this way. Think about how little media coverage the two bills got so far. Two bills have been passed in the House of Representatives this past week. One was about codifying. One was about legislating
as mods
a protection for access to contraceptives, which is a genuine problem and or will become a genuine problem, right? Protecting that at the federal level is important, is really important. The other one is about protecting gay marriage. There is no media pushback. There is no fucking like going into making the rounds on mainstream media and like routinely talking about it. There's no bouldering of the Republican Party talking about how like 157 Republicans voted no for protecting gay marriage.
Thank you for
like they're not even doing that. The only thing they're doing right now is January 6th, January 6th, January 6th, January 6th, January 6th, January 6th. It's only trying to present the Republican Party as a violent party ready to do fascism, which is true. That is true. Okay? That's been true. Okay? And if your only goal is to showcase how crazy they are and then rely on the electorate to go out and vote for you as a defensive mechanism without actually doing anything to implement defenses or without even showing the defensive legislation that you're proposing, okay, then why the fuck are people going to vote for you? Do you see what I'm saying? So even in instances where the Democrats are actually doing something right, they're doing something adequate, they're not hyping that. They're not showing that they're doing something. It's like they are scared of showcasing efficiency. They're scared of showing that they're even doing the right thing. How crazy is that? Yes, they're always relying on the lesser of two evils as long as people are willing to buy into the idea that there's no better alternative, but there isn't any better alternative. That's the reality. That's the unfortunate reality. What are they supposed to do, Hasan? Try? You're being hysterical, Sweaty. That's true. What's Rogan saying that's liberal? Well, we're watching it right now.
Money can go to all these different things that would use to benefit society. I was like, I'm in.
That sounds good.
Is that real? What else are you trying to do? You trying to avoid war?
That sounds cool.
What else are you trying to do? Trying to like eliminate student debt?
Hey.
What else? What about healthcare? Free healthcare? I'm in.
And he's a radical.
See, that's a brilliant conversation. Okay, that's a good combo to have. Does it seem authentic? No, I think Joe Rogan is like unaware of what his worldview revolves around. You know what I mean? He changes like the wing to cater to as many views as possible. Bro, like this man was literally hyping up Ron DeSantis like last week, brother. He is the diametrical, like he is the opposite of Bernie Sanders. Like there's no man that is closer to the opposite of Bernie Sanders than fucking Ron DeSantis. Let's hear it though. This is Joe Rogan's on his lib arc.
What do you think that is about? Like, what is this? It's not just abortion rights, but now they're going after gay marriage too, which is so strange to me.
Oh, it's so strange. It's like, bro, it's strange to you if you think that the Republican Party is not built around cruelty. The Democratic Party is built around virtue signaling, and the Republican Party is built around cruelty, racial agitprop, and cruelty. That's it. But both of those parties are essentially playing a role in their they're doing theater. Both of these parties are a part of a theater play. Okay, ultimately, that's it. But you have to, at the very least, recognize that the Republican Party's role in that theater play is about being as cruel as possible to marginalized people and use them as a red herring. Society's crumbling because of Society's crumbling because the West is falling apart as a consequence of immigration. Society's crumbling because Western supremacy is no longer in existence, because Western civilization is falling apart because of homosexuality and moral decay and moral degeneracy. That's what Republicans advocate for. That's what the fuck they say. So of course they're going to do all this shit.
That people are talking, like Marco Rubio was saying that it was like a silly thing to argue about, to be concerned about, and then some other senator who is a gay woman confronted him, and she was furious at it. Because gay marriage is not silly. It's marriage. It's marriage from people that are homosexual, and it's for them. It's important. They want it. They want it. They want to affirm their love and their relationship. And the fact that they're going after that now almost makes me feel like they want us to fight. They want to divide us in the best way they can, and that, like, that this is the best way for them to keep pulling off all the bullshit they're doing behind the scenes, is to get us to fight over things like gay marriage, or get us to fight over things like abortion. Or
you don't say. What? That's crazy. No way. That is so shocking. Color me surprised. What? How? What? That's never that. I would never think that that's the case. Yeah, no shit, dude. Next thing he's gonna say, the top of the hour is when an ad break comes in. You know, like a 60-second one. And that if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. And I'm gonna be like, Joe, how did you know that? And then he's going to say you can subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, as long as you have an Amazon Prime account connected to your Twitch account. That's such a good segue. You guys got fucking debated, dude. Get fucked. Here's the woman ad break now.
It's just like, why are you removing freedoms?
Yes.
And, you know, and then this new thing where they're, you know, gun rights, like trying to go after the Second Amendment.
I wonder if Joe Rogan will ever think about his own personal role in the culture war as a mechanism of divisiveness. Like, if you start realizing those things, then you have to maybe, do you think he'll realize that, like, he himself has, like, played a dramatic role in amplifying the divisiveness? What about you, though? My friend, what the conclusion that Joe Rogan just arrived at is what I've been advocating for the past 10 years. That these wedge issues, I talked about it on the Anthony Padilla interview. I talked about it time and time again. I have been talking about it for fucking 10 years. That ultimately, Americans agree on a lot more than they disagree on, especially as it pertains to social issues. And the idea of social issues being the only reason, the only fucking primary motivator to separate between these two teams in our bourgeois capitalist electoral system is because it takes away from the material realities. Democrats refuse to offer material restitution. Republicans are always going for additional cruelty. They both agree on, both parties ultimately agree on our endless imperial conquests overseas, bombing brown people, okay? We always agree on deregulating certain aspects of the industry. We always agree, both parties always agree on fucking tax cuts for the wealthy and corporations. This is a fundamental part of my advocacy. And if you don't recognize that, that's because you've been duped into thinking that I have not been saying this and I'm only playing my role, crying all the time about Republicans. I shit on Democrats so much that motherfuckers literally think I'm a Republican. There are people that have come into this community thinking that I was a goddamn Republican for like a week before they realize, like, holy shit, what is your political perspective? That was everyone here on their first week? Yeah. If you don't virtue signal like a Democrat, you're automatically Republican. Anyway, let's continue.
You know, you see that story that recently happened where there's a shooter in a mall?
Can we say something about the gay marriage real quick?
Yeah, please.
Like, if you're going to say that marriage is an important cultural institution to the fabric of America, you can't remove it from Americans.
When I first heard of you, it was a TikTok that said there was a world where I never discovered Hasanabi and stayed a liberal, and I thought you were a Republican, Lamau. That was me. I unfollowed you at first, but eventually tried you again and got to know you. 21-month subscriber. Look at this.
Loving this Andrew Tate arc.
Right.
You can't go and say, this is important. This is what we do. We create a family and we love one another. And this is how we express our love. And then say, these Americans can't do that shit.
It's so homophobic because you're saying there's something wrong with being homosexual.
Ooh, yo, whoa, Joe. Seems like you're virtue signaling, man. This argument that Joe is arriving at can be extended to pretty much all the other culture war issues that he plays a role in, okay? For the record. Same thing when I read your bio years ago. Do you think the average person knows the difference between right and left now? Thought you were a lib because you were wearing an Obama hat the first stream I watched? Yeah.
Who are opposed to gay marriage. You're saying you're opposed to gay people.
Yeah.
Because if gay people are in love with each other and they want to have a celebration and they want to be legally bonded and connected, and there's all sorts of benefits to that in terms of
financial benefits. Like, you build it into the system. Yeah.
But not only that, like if your loved one is in jail or not in jail, well, that's
on trial, you can't.
Or I was going to say in a hospital.
Oh, that's right. You have access to them. Yeah.
You have access to them.
Yeah.
And
your loved one is in gay jail.
Only one that has access to them because you're their spouse. You're the one who has power of attorney if they're incapacitated. Like this, there's a lot to like affirming that relationship. Yeah. And the fact that they're going after that now, like that's the kind of shit that keeps me from being a Republican.
Yeah.
It's only one of the kind of, there's a bunch of shit.
I love that, dude. He's like, if the Republicans weren't as like aggressive about like as open about their homophobia, like I'd probably be a Republican. That's awesome.
Keeps you from being a Republican. Yeah. But that's one of the, like people will say like, oh, you're a secret conservative. I'm like, you could suck my dick.
He's not a secret conservative. He's an open conservative. It's just like I'm calling you because I'm going to order food. Come here and put your order in.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm so far away from being a Republican.
Yeah.
Just because I believe in the Second Amendment and just because I support the military and just because I support police.
Yeah.
Like I was on welfare.
Brother, the reason why people think you're a conservative is because of your advocacy about like the shit that he said about homeless people, the shit that he said about like fucking laziness. Like this is a direct contradiction to exactly what he said like last week when he was talking about how like laziness is happens when people get money for free. I mean, look, I don't want to push people like this away, okay? And I do believe that Joe Rogan, much like many of these other people, have certain empathetic qualities that put them in the I guess progressive side. Okay? Is this an old video or new? No, this is new. But people that are saying like, oh, maybe he'll change. No, he's going to have like Ben Shabibo back on next week and then fucking, say the most insane, idiotic bullshit again here. Bro, he said this plenty of times too. It's more about what he's presenting himself as recently. I don't give a fuck if you're on welfare years ago. Now shit on homeless people. Yeah.
As a kid, I think it's important. I think having a social safety net is crucial.
Yes.
It's crucial.
Yeah.
We should help each other. We're supposed to be one big community. I'm a bleeding heart liberal when it comes to a lot of shit. I just also believe in discipline and hard work.
Yes.
That's where
that's what you're right. I forgot. It's the leftists and progressives fucking hate discipline and hard work. Famously. They're always like, oh man, I fucking hate hard work and I hate discipline.
Too long, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you, Hasan, for educating
like these are like universal values that you are just ascribing to the fucking conservative movement for no fucking reason, dude. That's so insane. I'm sorry. I despise that, dude. I straight up I fucking can't. Laziness is not a quality that is associated with the left or right, okay? That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
So torn on Andrew.
There are plenty of fucking hogs that are lazy as fuck, okay? Just like there are plenty of leftists that are lazy as fuck. God damn, dude. No, Republican are lazy. No, conservatives are lazy as fuck too. Everyone is there's lazy people in all political movements. Like that's so stupid. It's so incredibly idiotic to be like, oh, who's lazier? Like conservatives or Democrats? Like, oh, whatever, dude. Democrats incentivize laziness. Yeah, dude, you're right. You're right, Scruff Gruff. That's totally true. Democrats incentivize laziness. Why? With social safety nets? Is that how? Is that how they do it? Dude, people that say stuff like this are so funny because you're in Twitch chat, which means like you're not even one of those fucking billionaires or millionaires that's going to benefit from crippling the social safety nets and then getting a nice little tax break at the tippy top end of that. That's what's crazy to me. Like you are suckling on the billionaire boots so fucking hard that you unironically are advocating for their propaganda. You're advocating for their better material conditions for them.
For a couple weeks.
Bro, rich people don't even fucking work. What are you talking about? Exactly. Exactly, dude. There's a certain point that you get to with your finances where your money makes money for you.
2 years, Pog.
Okay? And there are so many people that are at that point. Those people are lazy, but society has wired your brain into thinking, oh, he has money, so he's working hard. Because meritocracy is a lie told to you since birth. Okay?
Let's go. Has the brain rot set in yet?
If you aren't a spineless invertebrate layabout, you should rethink your life choices. Worm lifestyle, Pog, what? Democrats are disincentivizing people to work by advocating for the higher minimum wage. Yeah.
I fall into the more conservative side.
And
but
that's
I'm
okay.
But I'm not a person who wants to like keep all my money and not pay taxes. Like people have accused me of moving to Texas because I didn't want to pay taxes. No.
So when are you at that point?
Like,
what do you mean, when am I at that point? Am I at a point where my money could make more money for me? Absolutely. 100%. I don't do it because I'm brain broken and I love this. I love doing this and I don't need to do that.
Hassle.
But yes, of course I am. But it's funny when people say like, oh, dude, well, you know, look at what you're doing. Look at your financial predicament. It's like, bro, I'm literally in front of you for 8 to 10 hours every day. I'm streaming on a Sunday, brother. What do you think is going on?
5 whole months since Russia invaded Ukraine.
It's not like I'm not hiding it. Like, it's not like I'm taking like a fucking 2-month vacation or some shit. And then I come back and I'm like, all right, time to work again. And it would be totally valid if I wanted to do that as well.
Sparkling
and in Twitter and in Discord and in offline chat, you're always online. Exactly. I'm brain broken. I love this shit. I love my community. I value it immensely. I owe everything to you guys. So this doesn't feel like real fucking work. And the main point is I want to make sure that everyone has opportunities like this. I want to make sure that everyone can have a future like this. I want to make sure that everyone can have emotionally satisfying, fulfilling, meaningful work. Okay? And get paid adequately, get compensated for the actual labor that you put in, and have more autonomy over your own life. That is at the heart of leftist values. That is at the heart of Marxism. Okay? People often misunderstand Marxism. They say, oh, it's collectivism. Like, it doesn't care about the individual. No, dude. It's collective action so that individual freedoms can be uplifted. How can you claim to be a free person in the United States of America when we house, or shackle rather, 25% of the world's entire incarcerated population? How can you say you're truly free when you are shackled with debt? Just so you can become a more productive worker, okay? In the form of college debt, in the form of student loan debt, an amenity afforded to the average citizen in most other OECD nations, okay? How can you say you're truly free when your employment is directly tied to your health care? How can you say you're free? Are you really free? You spend 80% of your adult lives, many of you are young right now, so you're not there yet. But when you get older, you're going to spend 80% of your adult lives working at facilities, working at corporations where you have no say over what you wear, what you can say, what you can do, what you can and can't do. There's your haircut, okay? You will have no say over that whatsoever, out of the fear that if you don't fucking if you don't follow whatever your manager or your boss is saying, you might lose your job. And if you lose your job, you lose any opportunity you have to put a fucking shelter over your head. You lose any opportunity you have to put food on your table, clothes on your back, and more importantly than all of that, health care. How can you say you're truly free when that is the reality that you exist under? You're not. They've just lied to you, and they've said that you're free. And you think that you're free, but you're not free. You have no freedom whatsoever.
Black pilled for another month.
Okay? The only freedom you have is a false notion that you either work and have no say over your own lives whatsoever, or die, starve, and die. Okay? Let's continue.
No, I moved to Texas because I want fucking freedom.
What a perfect way to end that clip. Now, Joseph Robinette Rogan, obviously, he has freedom because he's fucking a multimillionaire. Those are the people who are truly free, let's be real. Andrew Schultz on independently releasing his comedy special. All right, let's hear this Dave Chappelle controversy.
Before the podcast about what happened. So today is, what's today's date? Today is the 22nd, which is a Friday. And just yesterday.
Great, this chat knows that. You know that. The other leftist content creators know it. So who's going to do something about it? Or just in theory, what can we do about it? Talk about it, connect with each other, depend on each other, elect each other. But no one wants to do any of that. Bro, why are you coming in here with a defeatist argument when I'm doing agitated propaganda? What's wrong with you?
Seems like he doesn't want to talk to me anymore.
We talk about what is to be done a lot, okay?
6 months of official Brian Rott without a grain.
All right, I'm muting TTS. Post that last rant on TikTok with the Zoomers, man. Basically, Marxism 101. Yeah, that's a good rant. That's a TikTokable moment. This is why the shit they say about you is always bullshit, man. You know about the struggle of the working class and have working class fans and have actual conversations with them instead of just placing your order. Yeah. I wish you didn't talk so much shit on him, so maybe you could go on his podcast. Maybe one day.
Chappelle's show got canceled.
Yeah.
In Minneapolis.
Yeah.
In a venue that did Prince own it?
I think that was the Purple Rain venue.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever owned it, but I think that was like synonymous with Prince.
Right, with Prince.
Yeah, I think it was called First Ave.
And something happened where these people decided that Chappelle is problematic or transphobic or what have you. And so the venue, at the last minute, like a couple of hours before the show, canceled his performance.
It doesn't feel like work. Does that in and of itself discredit your statement about how choosing the work instead of taking time off? Those running trust funds and corporations have astronomical amounts of stress. Unlike you, who are getting paid just as much from Twitch subscriptions, you have the luxury of making millions off of the very thing you enjoy. I mean, whether I consider it to be the traditional concept of work or not does not change the reality that there is labor being put into this. Do you understand? So when I say, oh, it doesn't feel like work, that doesn't change the nature of what I do. Okay? And also, when you talk about the trust fund workers, when you're talking about the people that work at the hedge fund, that's different than the people who actually are just putting the capital and making other people work for them. There's a difference between someone who is an analyst who is working in that capacity, working to improve profit margins for those who own capital, and the person who owns the capital himself. You get it? It doesn't feel like work because you aren't having excess labor value extracted from you. I am. That's not true. I quite literally am. I am still, regardless of how well paid I am, in comparison to the average worker. No, of course, surplus labor value is being extracted from me. Amazon takes a fat cut. What are you talking about? Amazon forces me to run ads at the top of the hour. Amazon takes a fat cut of revenue from said ads. Amazon also is taking a cut out of every subscription. So it is still infinitely, there's still a gigantic amount of, there is a gigantic percentage of that revenue that's going directly to them for operating this, for allowing me to operate on this website. Chatter is trying to use that argument of service workers are not hard laborers, which is so wrong. Service workers are most likely to be underpaid, have lower benefits, and even skip breaks to give perfect service for tips. Yeah. They also provide stuff, even though they profit off of you, though? Of course, but that's your workplace as well. Any contracted employee is getting some kind of, benefits. They supplied you with a platform to produce. They work hard too. My friends, you have Gramsci in your name. There is no fucking shot you do not understand this. If you know who Gramsci is, okay, you should understand what I am talking about. Unless you just learned everything from memes or something. It was a joke. Oh, okay. Holy shit. There's a difference between people who are bought into Amazon, okay, just have given their capital and are now just getting a return. They're having their capital work for them versus someone who is like coding on the website, someone who's working on the servers, someone who is doing compliance at Twitch. There's a difference between those guys who are workers versus the people who are at the tippy top, the capital owners who are just simply making money off of Amazon stock. Those guys don't have to go to work every day. I do. And so do the coders. So do the other people that I just mentioned. That's the difference between investors. Investors don't have to fucking literally go to work every day and keep working to make money. They're making their money work for them. Get it?
Yeah.
And he had to move it to the Varsity Theater.
Yeah.
And there was protests. And,
yep.
And you said one of your buddies was there?
Yeah, one of my buddies went. So they moved it to this other theater. And first of all, the reason why the venue canceled is because all the people that work there threatened to not go to work. That's what I'm hearing. So it's not like they felt like this, never-ending urge to protect the community.
Right.
They wanted Chappelle. Everybody wants Chappelle at the venue. But if everybody is at the venue is going, I'm not going to work, then you can't exactly have a show. So they do it at the other show, this other venue, and then the protesters went to the other venue and were kind of I don't know, for lack of a better term, harassing the people that were going to go to the actual show. And my buddy went there, and they were trying to fight him. And he wasn't even going to the show. He was going to see what was happening. He wasn't part of an anti-protest type thing. And
Did he make a video?
No, but he's a Somali kid, right? I want to get you this.
Red Band sent me a video.
Yeah, show me. What, of the eggs? Where the guy was going to throw the eggs and he got that shit kicked out of his hand?
Here, I haven't seen it, so we'll see it for the first time together.
But look at this real quick before you play the video, right? So a guy found out, one of the guys who was protesting was trying to fight him and fuck him up, found out who he was and then sends him a message.
Making your money work for you is such a silly term. Your wallet is going to a long day of labor and coming home exhausted. People are working for you, not money. Brilliant take. Freyer Eugen, you are absolutely correct. When I say they're making their money work for them, I mean they are engaging in exploitation. That's what profits are, obviously. There's no concept. Your wallet isn't autonomous and going out there and working. There's no value without labor. So when I say you're making your money work for you, I'm using the colloquial understanding, okay? But what I'm referencing is capital owners that are personally making money off of other people working for them. Interesting. Third-hand anecdotes with no evidence proving how unhinged all lefties are. Yeah.
Right? And the guy's name is Anthony, and he has his pronouns he and they in the bio.
He and they.
Yeah, he and they.
Oh, sometimes I'm a they.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a he.
And if you get it wrong,
don't get it wrong.
You're a bigot.
Yeah, you fucking piece of
Okay, dude. These are 2016. This is the 2016 era takes at this point. Especially when it's he, they. It quite literally is the absolute most what do you mean? He, they. That's it. You can say he. That's what that means. Like, what else do you want? What else do we want from this motherfucker? Like, you know what I mean? They're saying like, I will accommodate, okay? I am non-binary, but it's okay. I'm mask presenting, you know, I'm masculine. If you say you know, he, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine with you saying I'm he. Like, even when you can't get it fucking wrong, motherfuckers are still like, oh, wait a minute. What the fuck?
Shit.
So he goes, hey, Abdi, I've talked with others who were there and closer to you now that the picture has become clear. I'm very sorry that the white guy started off the whole escalation and caused a bunch of bad assumptions. This is 100% why, as a cis white guy, I choose to follow the directions of the activists/organizers on the ground instead of taking the lead. I'm there to support. It bothers me a lot that white guys do this and leave other people to pick up the mess. I'm going to delete my replies because they didn't pick up on what was actually happening. You know, I see your byline in MSR and Sahan Journal and look forward to reading some of your pieces. Hope our next meeting is more peaceful. Good night.
Did he punch him?
I don't know.
Why did he say more peaceful? What did he do to him?
I guess they were just beefing or something.
So this is the video that Red Band sent me. It says trans activists protesting outside a sold-out Chappelle show in Minneapolis. So let's play it and hear what they have to say. Oh, we have to.
Dude, I don't fault trans people for being upset about Dave Chappelle, and his like rhetoric or whatever, but also like stopping Dave Chappelle from performing at a Minneapolis venue. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I get why they're doing it. I get why people do it because like you're literally, you know, every time Dave Chappelle goes to a venue, they are, you know, Dave Chappelle is unironically uplifting the anti-trans narrative and directly making people more antagonistic towards trans people and normalizing that. Joe Rogan, why does everyone think I'm a right-winger? Also, Joe Rogan, pronouns, am I right? Yeah. Don't give him that power. Fuck him. He's not even funny anymore. I just like, this kind of shit only is going to hype him up further. It sucks. I do feel like it's defeatist. It's the same exact, like, it's just coming from that same area of powerlessness in that circumstance. But what are you supposed to do? Like, I see both sides. I hate to admit it. I'm such a five-head centrist, I guess, but I do understand why people do it. Like, it is a defensive action because when Dave Chappelle goes out there and is like fucking getting people to honk like a goose and clap like seals about like being transphobic or whatever, you're unironically creating a less safe space for trans people. But also, there is no safe space for trans people pretty much at any point. You know what I mean? Is Chappelle still doing transphobic material in his current bit? My friend, Dave Chappelle, and I talked about this extensively yesterday, and then we unfortunately arrived at the most unhinged psychotic thing called transvestigations. Dave Chappelle has what I call turf brain, okay? It is when you are so obsessed with the existence of trans people and it fucking makes you so angry, right? It shakes your entire worldview and you are unable to operate in a normal, productive capacity, and that's all you talk about. What the fuck is transvestigations? This is a transvestigation that one of you guys made as a joke. Jewelries, long hair, pretty, cute, pretty dress. Evidence from Hoscord. Boobies. Hasan is trans. There are a lot of like brain broken people on the internet that have like accelerated turf brain, where apparently they conduct a sequence of investigations on whether cis people are actually trans in secret, and it's pretty funny. It's good stuff. It is like accelerated brain rot. I love my identity constantly being up for debate. Yeah. Dude, when he posted that picture, I literally had to ask my girlfriend to turn off his Wi-Fi and sell data for the day. So dumb. Anyway, let's get back to Joseph.
Trans also human rights, dumbass.
We're leftists. We know that shit.
Queer phobes go home.
Yeah, we do.
how it is eugenics for schizo posters. Yeah, it's accelerated schizo posting. Can I show the Dave Chappelle transvestigation? The person believes that Chappelle's bald head is the result of a hormonal imbalance. I love that.
Oh my God. A lot of hostility out here.
But it's not a lot of people that are hostile. It's a small amount. It seems like there's like, if you're watching this, it seems like there's probably like 12.
The worst thing you can ever do, if you're going to protest, especially if you're going to be disruptive, the worst thing you can ever do is be cringe, okay? You can't be cringe. If you're ever cringe in the act of protesting, God forbid you're protesting against like pre-existing societal constructs, especially, can't be cringe. Boom. That's gonna make it to my cringe compilation.
Or well, I don't know. It's hard to see the.
Who knows?
Yeah, but the thing about Chappelle's special that drives.
I'm new here and was impressed with your comments with Andrew Tate. I understand that you claim to be centrist, but relatively speaking, yeah, I am. I'm a centrist. Do you believe you align with more the left or the right? Just to clarify for new viewers like myself. Yeah, no, I'm just a centrist, dude. I'm right in the middle. I align with the truth, the objective truth, facts, and not feelings. You know what I mean? Just centrism. Pure centrism, baby. Please don't Google anything about me, okay? Cease your investigations into what my political affiliations are. I am just a centrist. And of course, because I'm in the center all the time, okay, Google will lie to you about my opinions. You know what I mean? They try to pin me down all the time. Can you elaborate on why you think these people protesting Chappelle shouldn't be? I was playing a game, so I may have misheard. No. I don't think these people protesting Chappelle shouldn't be protesting Chappelle. I'm simply stating that this is, it's not tackling the genuine issues that pertain to trans people and trans existence. The list of reasons you've been banned is pretty funny when you think about it. Yeah. I mean, I got banned for saying America deserved 9/11. I got banned for using I got banned for anti-white racism. No, I'm a centrist.
Crazy. And this is one of the things that drives me crazy about cancel culture, air quotes, outrage culture, I should say, is that people don't know the full story and they protest, and they get crazy.
Any sort of action within the democratic system that protects trans lives is proven to be completely fucking ineffective. Even the most tepid of protesting gets shit on. What are people supposed to do? Well, what I think people are supposed to do is again, engage in community organizing, engage in organizing their workplaces so that they can ultimately bully one of the two parties in power to literally codify certain protections for trans people. Doesn't the protest show that there are members of the community who support trans rights and trans safety? Yeah. No, that's why I said, like, a protest of Dave Chappelle's show is basically to showcase that, like, hey, listen, you know, you're transphobic as fuck, but, you know, there are people in this community that don't put up with that don't want that. And also to somehow stop transphobic narratives from continuing to be disseminated by a incredibly profoundly successful and popular individual. And it's the same exact argument around, like, it's the same exact concept about, like, Milo Yiannopoulos coming to your college campus, or Ben Shapiro coming to your college campus. Like, not Ben Shapiro as much, but Milo Yiannopoulos or Matt Walsh, when he comes to your college campus, like, they literally are doing shit to purposely make it less safe for trans people to exist there. Milo used to literally dox trans students and shit. So I understand where, you know, I understand why people want to stop that from happening, right? I think it's good to show people who are in a community and going to the show that there are people against them. Yeah. Why is my wait, what? This guy, where is it? Chappelle's a comedian. Why are you taking his words so literal? Your stream title is kind of whack. Why? It's Hogwatch TPUSA edition, Sunday Fun Day. That is what we're doing. Most serious transvestigators just end up admitting how hot they think guys are now. I see women with broad shoulders and small butts. I see men with big butts and beautiful eyes. What exactly do anti-cancel culture people like Rogan imagine the best case scenario to be? I don't know. I have learned a lot in the short period of time I've been here, done hella research, and found a name to what I wished our society would be like. Thank you. Welcome.
Crazy, and they have a narrative that they've either read or they've seen, and then they just adopt that narrative and they run with it. And the narrative is that his special was transphobic.
Right.
So, but that special is not transphobic at all. It's essentially a love letter.
Dog, he literally said he's transphobic in the special. What would it take for Joe Rogan to admit that Dave Chappelle is transphobic? Because now we know Dave Chappelle openly stating that he's transphobic was not enough. My man said he's a TERF. That's it. It's like the equivalent of saying like that he's a Nazi and then Joe Rogan be like, well, I mean, is he a National Socialist? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's it. He said he's a TERF. Chappelle is not anti-trans. Oh my God, there's still motherfuckers in here. Bro, listen. I've talked extensively about Dave Chappelle being transphobic. I'm a massive Dave Chappelle fan, okay? I was a huge Dave Chappelle stan, okay, for a very, very long time. I've also seen his new material, and it's still fucking unironically dunking on, like, queer teenagers and shit. He's, like, lost in the fucking sauce. He has terminal TERF brain. Now, let me just explain something to you, okay? Under the transphobia and the transphobic narratives that he is, like, not even making a fucking joke about, by the way, okay, is a more complicated argument about black men, specifically cishet black men, and how they've been fucked over by even the very same social justice causes. I recognize that, okay, and I have talked about that. And I think that there is one particular joke that he has that he's testing out right now that I've seen in person when he was testing out his new material about I think it was about, what was it about? I think it was like, I'll give you the exact bit real quick, but it was I believe it's about James Baldwin. Basically, at a time when like James Baldwin was advocating for things, his advocacy revolved around black emancipation. Yeah, of course I saw him live. I've seen him live after his stand-up special as well. You're so cringe, lol. Listen to lol. Chappelle's a comedian. It's not that deep, bruh. Okay? Yeah, he's not transphobic. Just doesn't think transphobia has been as detrimental to the human condition as racism towards black people. It's a bad take, but I get it. No. He is transphobic. He 100% is transphobic. He's just constantly fucking crying about trans people all the time. Straight up. There is an underlying adequate cultural critique there, but his transphobia gets in the way of him making that point adequately. Okay? That's it. And the reason why his transphobia, like the reason why I'm talking about how he's transphobic is because like that his transphobic attitude stops him from seeing trans people and understanding like trans oppression specifically to make like really decent social commentary out of it and really good comedy out of it. That's it. And like, you don't have to fucking, I mean, you don't have to agree with that. I don't know why you like cry so much about it. I don't know why you have to like defend Dave Chappelle not being transphobic or whatever. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He literally doesn't give a shit. Anyway, let's continue. I think Andrew pushes back on this note.
Who committed suicide.
I think that depends on your definition of transphobia. I've talked to some trans people about this, and they feel if you do not believe that they are the gender that they identify as, if you believe that they're not that is considered transphobic. So, for example, in the special, he's like, I don't believe that you're a woman. I don't hate you, but I don't believe you're a woman.
Did he say that?
Something to that extent. I don't want to mess up the exact words.
I think he said that the gender, I don't know.
Or gender's a science or something, whatever.
Right.
I don't want to mess it up. Sorry if I didn't get it exactly right. But I think the sentiment was like, yo, if you had a penis, it's not the same thing as a woman. I think trans women go, yeah, we know that. Like, no trans women I've spoken to is like, yeah, I understand, like, biologically I'm not a fucking woman. I get it. But inside I feel like a woman.
Right.
And what is inside, I guess, matters. Is
Here's
what
the
they're
question.
saying.
How do they know?
This is the most like This is it. That's the peak of that is the peak of like trans activism you can get away with on the on the Joe Rogan Experience. By the way, the most dude bro talk chat. Don't be done. He's explaining it to a transphobic person. It's funny because he misquoted him and felt bad, but the actual quote is much worse. This dude's trying to explain trans issues challenge. I mean, dude, come on. You're gonna have to fucking. No one's gonna be good. I'm not good at this. Okay, I fail at this too. You got to recognize your audience and do your best. That's it, and come at it from a place of empathy. I want to watch more of this though. Didn't Chappelle leave the Chappelle show due to how uncomfortable his show direction was going with the jokes? How does that not correlate that with the trans jokes? Why are you coping for Andrew Schultz? Nah, dude, he literally feels that way. He said on multiple occasions he doesn't believe that they are biologically women. What do you mean, biologically women? Like, he's just saying that there's a difference between cis women and trans women, which is not like, but they're still women. Both cis women and trans women are still women across the board. He's utilizing a pre-existing colloquial understanding, okay? In biology, there's no women and men. There's a clip where they talk about the Matt Walsh doc. Okay, hit me with that clip. I want to see. Like, look at that. 2-month subscriber. Trans women aren't women. They're men. We already watched the Joe Rogan talking about gay marriage. As a trans person, the bar is subterranean for cis dudes. People don't get you're an exception. Yeah, his language is totally fucked, but his meaning is correct. Thank you. I know. And people still get mad at me. People literally fucking yell at me and say I'm transphobic. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's never, no one is ever going to be 100% perfect.